Hello and welcome. My name is Anna Kowalska, and I wanted to share with you what scientific hand analysis is all about. So, first, let me start by saying what it's not, because that's going to be a lot easier. And if that's what you're looking for, you know right away you're in the wrong place. Scientific hand analysis is not a fortune telling tool. So, using this tool, I will not be able to predict when you'll die, how much money you'll make, or when you get married. What scientific hand analysis tool is a way of getting to know how you operate in a world, where you excel, where you stop yourself, what your sole purpose is, what you came here to embody, and what your blind spot is. That way that you'll stop yourself from creating success in your life over and over and over again. So, there is a science behind it. It was actually a system put together by Richard Unger in 1986, and he's been improving it ever since. He's been validating it ever since based on tens of thousands of hands analyzed. So there are two parts of hands that we look at in scientific hand analysis. There is the palm of your hand with all the amazing lines that are right in the middle. All these lines are mirror of the neural pathways in your brain. So imagine it's like the way you've been operating your whole entire life has made certain neural pathways in your brain, and it's like a predisposition to the way that you behave and the way you believe world is. All of that is right here in your hands, in the palm of your hand, your right hand and your left hand. And all these lines, just like neural pathways that you can rewire, all these lines change to reflect exactly where you are in your life at this particular moment. I'll come back to this in a second, but next let me tell you about the fingerprints. So I was always mesmerized by fingerprints, but growing up in a socialist country, I thought that the fingerprints were there so the government could identify us, because they fingerprint you for every single thing, right? So I always thought that humans have these fingerprints purely because we need to be identified. I'm sure someday that will happen on a much bigger scale and level, of course it already happens. But imagine that these fingerprints actually exist for a completely different reason. They are formed in a utero between week 13 and 16 when you are still in your mama's belly. They are already fully formed. Babies, newborns already have fully formed fingerprints. They never ever change. Throughout your life, you have the same fingerprint patterns, and nobody else in the world has the same fingerprint patterns. And these patterns, based on the system that Richard Unger created, actually carry a code that shows what your soul level purpose is. And this doesn't mean that it's going to tell you you are here to be a dentist. It is more of an embodiment of characteristics that when you do live them out, you will live a soul-fulfilling life. And don't we all want that? Don't we all want a life that creates a meaning for us and everybody else around? That sole purpose that's been put in our hands to identify by, that sole purpose is ours to carry through in this lifetime. Thus, using the same fingerprint, we also learn the life lesson. And the life lesson is your blind spot. And many scientific hand analysts actually believe, and I happen to start believing it more and more, that knowing your lesson is extremely important, even more important than sole purpose, because sole purpose is what you already innately are familiar with, what you already probably know that you are here to do. You may not be doing it, which causes a level of suffering in your life, but the lesson is the thing we came here to master, and it's that thing that's going to keep tripping us up every single time we try to do something meaningful and bigger and in our lives and improve our life. Because until we learn what our lesson is and learn how to work with it, it's going to keep showing up for us. And even after, it's our lesson for life. So even after we reach certain level of success and want to move and expand farther, and I don't mean financial success, I mean success life wise, but of course money comes as a part of it. Every single time we try to expand to a new level, that life lesson is going to come and smack us in the head. It's going to look different every single time. But once we know exactly what it is, we can start seeing everything we stumble upon, everything we stumble over, everything we tripped up by. We can look at it through this one particular lens. So can you imagine when you are doing work on yourself and you're trying to grow and expand and create something more in your life, be more in your life, and you have this particular lens, right? There are so many ways you could look at working at your life. Do this, do that, clear this, learn this, mindset this, da 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 da. What if you just had a very, very particular thing you always go to? And I don't mean a tool, just a lens you look through. Then you can then say, okay, looking through this lens, how is this lesson showing up? And then what is in this lesson here right now for me to learn so I can keep moving forward? It doesn't stop you. You just keep moving forward. Can you imagine having that kind of clarity? Scientific hand analysis can give you that clarity and focus. And then going back to the lines in your hands. The lines in your hands will also show you how you're stopping yourself in other areas. So not just with the lesson, but how is this lesson mixed in with your heart, with your head, with how you deal with projects, with your intuition, with your family, with pleasure and joy and intuition and intimacy and leadership and ambition, all those things, creativity. We can look at the hands and see where you are not using the gifts you've been given to fulfill your purpose. So where are you not using what you were given, the strengths, the gifts, the abilities that you've been given that are innately yours to further fulfill your purpose? Imagine knowing that clearly and specifically what to focus on. That's what scientific hand analysis does. And it doesn't even mention going into certain shapes of our hands and fingers and direction of our fingers are leaning and where they're placed. All of that has a very deep meaning for where we are in our life right now, how we experience life. And I don't know for you, but for me, I'm a pretty clever lady. So I am really, really good at ignoring what's inconvenient, justifying what I don't want to work on, and keep stumbling over the same things over and over as a result. Once I discovered scientific hand analysis, I could no longer hide because once I look at my handprints, I can tell exactly what my experience, my true, authentic experience of life is right now, and look at that particular thing that my hands are telling me to focus. I can't ignore it anymore. And guess what? It always is true. And when I look at it, I'm always reminded that I can fool myself if I don't want to deal with something, but my life will keep bringing it forth for me to deal with. So imagine knowing with that kind of clarity right from your hands exactly what you're here to embody, exactly what's going to stop you, what you're here to master, and what's available to you right now in talents and gifts that you are not using. Imagine knowing your character and like true character, the one you are here to live into, not something that you imagine that you want to be, but the character that's truly authentically you. Because anything else is just us hiding from our authenticity and truth and our lights. And lastly, I've taken many personal tests to confirm who it is that I am, to have a confirmation of certain things about myself that I knew were true. And there are some lucky people who just wake up in the morning and are clear. This is who I am. This is what I'm doing. And bless them. They're lucky. Many people are just like me. We don't know. We are blinded by our own greatness. We deny our genius, our brilliance, and we deny our own gifts because there are certain things we may have to do that are less convenient than others. And for me to have that kind of clarity that I cannot deny, that every time I look at my hands, I know exactly what I'm looking at. And every single time I'm reminded of things I need to focus on. If I'm trying to shy away from leadership, knowing that it's part of my purpose, and my hands are showing me additional markings to say, hey, be a leader. I know why things aren't working out in certain areas exactly how I want them to be. So I hope this gave you some insight into what scientific hand analysis is, what it isn't. It is used already, not just by woo-woo people. I believe in spirituality, and I'm a very and metaphysics. But world outside of it, biology and science are waking up into this tool that we've been given. There centuries ago, philosophers used this tool to help guide young men, because young women didn't go to universities in 1500s. Philosophers used this tool very, very popularly to help guide young men into their purpose and their own greatness. They recognized how important it was then, and now we're bringing it back. Companies, corporations are already learning how to use this tool, how to bring experts like myself and show the team what everybody's role can be within the organization, within the team, to make it more efficient, because everybody has a role to play. So lastly, I'm just going to show you that the hand analysis is done based on, I want to cover the name, is done based on a print just like this. So when you're ready, you can either click the link below, or if I sent you an email, if you got an email from one of my amazing referral sources, book your session. Once you do, I'm going to send you a print kit, which is going to arrive in a manila envelope. And it's going to look like, this is the one I just got. So it's going to look like this. It's going to have your address on it. It's going to have your address on it. And inside you're going to find blank sheets of paper, ink, and alcohol swabs to clean your hands after. There are very clear instructions on exactly how to make your prints. I'm going to also send you a video to follow to make your prints very clearly. And then in an enclosed envelope, you're going to send me two prints of each hand that look just like this. I'm going to analyze these prints, and then we're going to schedule your session. And I'm going to share with you about what I see, and you can share with me what your experience is of life, having those gifts, this purpose, and this lesson. And together we'll come up with a plan for you to live into your purpose successfully. I hope you take me up on the offer of analyzing your hands. It would be my honor. And book your session either right below on this page or through the link that you were sent in the email. That's it for now, and I hope to see you soon in either a live event or on a computer video session that looks just like the one I am doing this for you. Okay? Bye for now.